Silver mines of the sea, so plentiful that explorers to the Americas told tales of fish that stopped the passage of their ships. In such swarms, they claimed that the fish could be scooped up in baskets. Teeming seas, countless numbers, a boundless resource. So it was once thought. In 1497, an imaginative mariner, John Cabot, serving the flag of England, set out in search of a northwest passage to Asia and its fabled riches. Following old Icelandic routes, he encountered Arctic ice. He then probed south along the coast of Labrador and discovered instead riches in the form of codfish, very likely off the coast of Newfoundland. Fish in the 16th century was a major source of protein for Europeans. Few could afford meat. Though Cabot was not actually the first to discover fish in the Newfoundland, his accounts were the first to be published, and these accounts soon attracted English, French, and Spanish fishing fleets. Fishing, then, was the first North American resource to be systematically exploited by Europeans, and remains to this day our oldest continuous industry.
Long before Columbus, the Vikings they did come. They found our waters full of fish, take back to their home. When Cabot sighted Newfoundland, he raised his hands in thanks, because he said without a doubt there's codfish in these banks.
The major commercial fishing regions lie in the shallows of the continental shelves, which occupy about 10% of the world's ocean area. The great depths of the mid-ocean regions are, in comparison, barren hunting grounds. The Grand Banks off the coast of Newfoundland is one of the best fishing areas in the world. In this region, two mighty currents clash, the cold Labrador current and the warm Gulf Stream. Here the marine food chain begins. Plankton, minute aquatic plants and animals, depend on sunlight which can penetrate the shallow waters of the banks. Fed on nutrients constantly stirred up from the bottom by the major currents, they rapidly reproduce. Small fish, which thrive in these clouds of plankton, in turn draw larger fish, which feed upon them. A variety of fish flourish off the northeastern shelf of North America. First, the bottom feeders, such as cod, sole, and perch. Powerful trawlers using an otter trawl drag the bottom, stir up the fish, and scoop them in like a vacuum cleaner. Another class of fish migrate in large schools and feed near the surface. The herring, mackerel, and salmon. Though there are several ways of catching these fish, two large-scale methods are most often employed: purse seining and gill netting. The gill net is set to hang like a curtain in the water. As the unsuspecting fish swim into the net, they become entangled by their gill covers. The other method, purse seining, is somewhat similar to corralling horses. The vessel circles the school of fish and then draws the bag-like net tight. The offshore fishing industry is a large, year-round operation. The majority offshore catch is made by powerful deep-sea vessels owned by the processing companies.
Oh, when the fishing is done, bring your catch home and sell it to me. I'll freeze them and pack them and send them away, far from their home in the sea.
In these modern plants, the fish are quickly cleaned and prepared for market. Depending on the market conditions, the fish may be chilled, frozen, canned, or cured. The fishing industry even squeezes profit from waste. The head, entrails, and scales can be reduced to animal feed, soap, oil, fertilizer, and pharmaceuticals. In the other sector of the industry, inshore fishing, there is still a role for the individual fisherman. He may own his own boat and labors long hours during the summer season.
A fisherman's life is a hard life working on the sea, but I'll tell you that a fisherman's life is a good enough life for me.
In Canada, in terms of volume, about 80% of the fish are netted in the Atlantic. Still, while the Pacific catch is so much smaller, the most valuable fish is the salmon. Off the coast of British Columbia, the salmon which have journeyed for years in the Pacific return to the rivers and streams to spawn. On their approach, large fleets move out to sea to intercept them, while individual fishermen snare the salmon upriver. The few who run this gauntlet batter their way upstream to lay their eggs and die. North to Alaska, where 20% of the value of the total United States catch is netted. In this storm-whipped environment, fortunes can be made and lost overnight. Beneath the waves, luring the fishermen, king crab, shrimp, and numerous other species. While the cold waters of the Pacific Northwest and the North Atlantic regions are fertile, it's in the warmer waters of the continental shelf where the greatest catches are made. Swarming off the coast of the southeastern states and the Gulf of Mexico is the menhaden. What this little fish lacks in size, it makes up in volume. The catch of menhaden is by far the largest tonnage of any species caught in North American waters. Crushed, it produces valuable oils. Ground, it provides animal feed. In the soup-warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Sea products such as shrimp, crayfish, and oyster abound. The state of Louisiana alone provides half the shrimp consumed in the United States. Off the Pacific coast, the fishermen of Mexico and California hunt big and small game, the tuna and anchovy. California leads all other states in the value of fish caught.
The halibut, the salmon and the lobster and the crab, the scallop and the mussel and the skate, the pollock and the haddock and the little sardine are all very good to eat. Oh, a fisherman's life is a hard life, working on the sea. But I'll tell you that a fisherman's life is a good enough life for me.
Despite the promise of plenty, preferred location, and available technology, North American fishermen have been outdistanced by other nations. While world production has more than doubled since 1950, the growth of the fishing industry in North America has been at a standstill. Perhaps tradition, sticking to old ways, has been their biggest problem. Japan, Russia, China, Peru, and Norway are playing in a much bigger league. With larger fleets, floating factories, and ample government assistance, they roam the seas and scoop the fish up at will. North Americans struck back by declaring that their territory extends 320 kilometers offshore. The intent now is that nations will have first claim to the fish in their own waters. Other nations will have to bargain for a share of the remainder. But international regulations and quotas are hard to set because fish populations are difficult to estimate. Fish don't float to the surface to be counted. And when fish don't respect national boundaries as they range the seas, to whom do they belong? International fishing treaties, then, are just as vital to mankind as peace treaties. It's always easy to blame foreigners, but North America's own record is blemished. Overfishing is not the only cause of diminishing catches. The Great Lakes once supported numerous freshwater fisheries. Through ignorance, we contaminated the waters. A radical change is needed. As population grows, mankind will hunger for more fish, but this hunger will be satisfied only when the seas are properly managed. New gained knowledge should stimulate bold ideas. Plankton, the basic food stock of fish, could be nourished the same way we fertilize crops. Great feeding troughs could be established off the continental coasts. Harvest new species, such as Antarctic krill, which the great whales feed upon, in order to relieve the pressure on those fish we are now over-harvesting. Given a few years' breathing space, the net-weary species could restore themselves.
We gotta take care of the fish in the sea to feed you and me. We gotta take care, we really gotta take care. We gotta take care of life.